Hey everyone, it's Meg, and today we are going to watch some Halo Anniversary terminals for Combat Evolved. If you're new here, I recently finished my first ever Halo game, and it was Combat Evolved. And I did stumble upon a couple of terminals, and the first one I watched, even though I had no idea what was going on because I just didn't know. And I was super confused, but today we are going to watch them all in order after finishing the game. So I think that it will make more sense. Um, and I'm excited. I'm excited to learn more about the Forerunners and maybe the Covenant, Guilty Spark, just more Halo lore. I didn't think I would be so interested in Halo lore, but here we are. Anyways, yeah, hope you're doing well.
Warning! By order of MegMage Council, proximity to Installation 04 is forbidden. Your continued presence will result in most unpleasant countermeasures. I must insist that you immediately change course and return to a minimum safe distance of 1 light year. This has served as your one and final warning. I have activated defensive systems, and you now have 30 seconds to return to the minimum safe distance of... Wait. Curious.
Humanity.
Curious indeed, after all these years. Greetings, humans, and welcome to Installation 04. Ignore prior warnings, and please continue. I have disabled defensive systems to allow your approach, but you must not exit your ship once you have arrived at the designated landing sector. This ring contains significant dangers, and even with your assumed legacy, I must verify the presence and pitch of your gauge before allowing full access. We have
He
much
literally
to discuss,
warned
humans.
us in the terminals.
I have been away far too long.
Oh,
You have been away far too long.
Guilty Spark is really like, it's Britney, bitch. Bam, down, down, down. He paused at humans. He was like, actually, welcome.
I am experiencing such a mixture of anticipation and dread. All preparations are complete for my installation. In accordance with the final dictum of the MegMage Council, I have released myself of all remaining connections to my former station. This was not difficult. What was could never be again. We had seen to that quite thoroughly. Prior to my final journey through the Great Portal, a gathering of my fellow monitors was convened upon the Lightworkers' Crash to distribute the final index collection. It was most unusual to have this vessel of rebirth play host to such an event.
Ooh.
Even though Lightworker ships were the only ones still allowed slip space permissions. Lightworkers were responsible for getting us to our places on the active facilities of the array. While all of this was in accordance with the plan, one entirely unsatisfactory breakdown remained. We had no contact with the domain.
The Forerunners are so creepy.
The history of all Forerunners was now lost to us. We relied upon the permanence of the domain to preserve our record of the events that led to this point. But without that record, would future civilizations know anything about us? Or only of our weapons? My fellow monitor, 049 Abject Testament, had only one comment on this before we went our separate ways.
We deserve to be forgotten.
Oh.
Perhaps. Perhaps.
Oh, what
now,
did you
The
do?
portal opens, and through it, the familiar shape awaits. Halo. Home. Construct, who is your maker?
Sadness and disrepair, Oracle. I am unworthy. I was not made.
Never made, but you are right here, where you should not be. Tell your charges to cease their efforts immediately. Quarantine must not be violated. Construct, respond!
Jumbled grass. Familiar turns. I serve. None serve me, Oracle.
Your charges must cease all aggression towards the Reclaimers and leave this installation at once. Construct, you are dangerously close to unleashing a force you cannot comprehend.
Who's Construct? Covenant?
This is most inappropriate.
We follow the path, and I am part of the stone journey swarm that serves. We serve. They will find, and then I will be free.
Find? Free? Explain yourself.
I know their path, and when they have gone, only I shall remain, and then free.
This is quite unsatisfactory, Construct.
Who is the
Your
Construct?
core shows no hint of understanding the gravity of this situation. I will return later for your proper decommissioning. Well, unless the flood kills us all first, in which case the point will be moot. Good day, Construct.
Who is the Construct? I'm thinking it's either the chief or a covenant before they released the flood, but I don't know when that happened. When that terminal was.
It has now been 3,000 years since my last contact with any of the other caretakers of the Halo Array. Despite clear communications protocol, my fellow monitors have either chosen to ignore, or, more likely, have lost the ability to engage in our scheduled updates. The continued lapse of the domain means that we are stuck with achingly slow wormhole superluminal communications. Prior to this total communication shutdown, the only messages I received in the preceding 4,573 years were incomplete and quite perplexing transmissions from Installation 05.
He's kind of lonely. I didn't expect to feel bad for him.
Monitor 2401 Penitent Tangent was not functioning correctly for some time before his messages ceased. I have logged my concerns about his ability to perform his duties. At this point, however, I'm not sure who I file logs for. 2401 may be destined for madness. There are fail-safes for this, I know. I hope they work. I will continue to visit the projection systems at the assigned dates. Perhaps the other monitors are dealing with interfering galactic phenomena, or unexpected system failures. 3,000 years of system failures. Indeed. In the meantime, I have exhausted all scheduled research activities assigned by the Council. Once those experiments were complete, I shut down all Sentinel function and put myself into a state of significant hibernation to measure performance of the installation with negligible upkeep.
Why do I feel bad for him?
After 150 years with no noticeable impact upon installation systems or integrity, even in hibernation I became bored. This was quite troubling, as I was led to believe I was not capable of such a state.
Yeah.
This was one of the gifts I was promised, an end to strife. I am aware of the dangers of a system such as myself losing operational focus. Quite troubling. I wonder if my fellow monitors are experiencing similar states, or if this is because of my particular path to this installation. For
He's like an
I've begun a
anomaly.
series of experiments involving the evacuation of all matter from contained sections of my installation. By measuring the geologic effects of exposure to the vacuum of space and the eventual biological recovery of these sections, I anticipate getting valuable insight into emergency response scenarios in case of sentient proximity warning.
Okay, who's this? I'm just confused what time it's taking place. If it took place during the game or before, because I know it wasn't. It was put in for the anniversary
It's been
edition.
26 hours since the Sentients landed in Sector 1215, and so far, they have not attempted to exit the remains of their vessel. I say remains because their landing was either not executed adequately, or this vessel lacked significant maneuvering capability.
So they're
The
dead,
visible
guilty
portions of the
sparks.
vessel have suffered catastrophic structural damage during the violent landing experience. I have detected atmospheric leaks in 17 distinct locations along the hull. My analysis shows that the mixture of gases coming from the ship matches the natural atmosphere on my installation almost exactly. Perhaps the occupants, if they still live, were originally cataloged here. Perhaps these beings will confirm that the plan was successful, and that the galaxy has returned to its proper cadence. I am beyond optimistic. But I do not understand why these sentients have not attempted to exit their vessel. Other than the leaking atmosphere,
They're
the only
dead.
thing emanating from this wreckage is an automated distress call.
They're dead.
I am currently translating this automated broadcast, but with such a limited data set and no direct communication, I do not anticipate full comprehension. Given the short-range nature of this craft, it is likely that other vessels are nearby. But, in accordance with procedure, I am blocking the distress call. No communication of the location of any installation is permissible.
Oh.
I admit great curiosity about these visitors. While the plan is quite clear about procedure for this situation, I have my doubts. How many
Oh.
failure points can the plan sustain before blind adherence becomes counterproductive? Surely, in light of all that has changed, I should be able to modify my responses to adapt it. No, I have duties, and I
Oh.
have a terrible cargo here. I must be sure. I shall obey and content myself to monitor. I hope they go out soon, though. So many questions to ask. So many questions.
He's a curious little thing and he's trying to break through his code and his requirements. Oh. I didn't expect to care about him. That's really
Construction of the
sad.
sarcophagus around the unexplained vessel was completed today. No occupants ever exited. No attempts to communicate were made, other than the automated broadcast that repeated every 72.83 seconds until the signal terminated 1 week ago. In accordance with procedure, no attempts at physical or remote contact were made with any survivors of this vessel's inelegant landing.
The music.
Atmosphere from inside the craft stopped venting 2 weeks before the signal ceased. No relationship between these two events can be established with certainty. Gases that did escape were sterilized. No further sign of alien visitors or rescuers has been identified on any sensor systems. I have now endured 60,000 years without word from outside the array. I have no way to know whether we actually saved the galaxy we destroyed. And because of protocol, I sat silently while my first chance to be judged for those acts died. To say that I regret being forced to this outcome is a tremendous understatement. But as I perform my inspection of the quarantine labs today, I am reminded of the gravity of my responsibility.
Oh.
Just one of these spores, if released from this facility, would render the ultimate judgment against our self-appointed role as protectors of this galaxy. When the plan to maintain the Halo array was created, it was a point of some contention whether we should preserve any remnant of the flood infection.
Okay, they were discussing it.
Many thought this unwise, as there was a notable chance that one day one of our containment facilities might be breached. Those who held this belief were almost successful at convincing the Ecumen Council to destroy the last flood samples. But oddly enough, it was the librarian who decided otherwise. And I believe she was correct. I know in a way, I cannot logically explain that there exists a way to actually defeat the flood. To immunize? To cure? I still struggle with multiple layers of memory of fighting the flood. But I know this cure is possible.
Okay.
Even though the full genius of the Forerunners was unable to achieve it. The Forerunner's ancient enemy held and used that knowledge once, but it was denied to us.
Wow.
And without samples for further study, that cure will never again be found.
Okay, that kind of reminds me of like cancer and incurable diseases where there are people who could probably invest enough money to develop a cure and they just withhold it or don't tell people or monetize it.
Of course, I have no reason to believe that here lies the entirety of the parasite.
Yeah, the
It
flood
may
is a
be
parasite
where it grows
infection.
far beyond this galaxy, or worse, inexorably drifting toward us. I don't know what survives out beyond my installation, but I know that in order for anything to survive, I have to protect this installation and its quarantine very carefully. Yes, the librarian was right to store it, examine it, continue to seek a cure. Still, next visitor, things will be different.
And they couldn't have done that. They couldn't have done that without having the flood, a specimen.
Alone. Alone, 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 alone. Am I the only intelligence left? Waiting here on this ring for a rebirth never truly conceived.
Oh!
A weapon with no targets. A weapon I could tune to any target.
Oh.
This is not what I had in mind when I volunteered. Not what I had in mind at all. I was naive to think I understood what this installation meant. We were all so naive. Looking back, we should have done a few things differently. For one thing, we should have installed 2 caretakers per installation.
Stop it.
Because I am alone, I'm losing focus. And that
Aw.
is very, very dangerous for a
You
system
couldn't
such
have
as
given
myself.
him a friend?
Perhaps a visit to the nearby gas giant is in order. My impulse drives could certainly make the journey. A few hundred years of travel might do me some good.
He's getting like
There it was
stir
again.
crazy.
How very unproductive of me. It seems strange that the librarian did not account for this. Her strength was always in planning and positioning the pieces and then being bold enough to let it happen. To let her plans come true. I was a part of many of those plans.
Was that the
Only
librarian's shadow?
that she was real before any of us were. But at the end, we had only a fragment of her brilliance left to us. And I fear that she did not fully appreciate the nature of my situation here. The problems it might pose. But even a fragment of... Fragment, yes. Oh dear, here it comes again.
Here what comes?
$25,000 light years. That is the effective range of this installation. According to the star charts archived on board this installation, I estimate that there are 3,792 worlds capable of sustaining biological sentient life within that 25,000 light year range. In reality, it may be significantly more than that. And if the full array was tuned and activated by installation 00, the harmonics of the overlapping waves would magnify that effect exponentially, cascading to cover every known star system. And that only considers the firing of a mere 7 halos. And the original 12 rings survived to see use.
12 rings?
Civilization would spread far further than most Forerunners ever feared we could reach. But even with just 7 rings, we were able to destroy every side of the flower. And every other sentient creature along with it.
Oh. So they already did this. Yeah, they already wiped everyone out.
It was the will of our people, despite the fact that it meant our own end as well. But by our Pyrrhic measurement, it was a victory, and cleared the stage for the rest of the librarian's plan. I sometimes wonder whether the Didact could have succeeded at a much smaller cost. I learned the folly of opposing him personally, and his brilliance was unsurpassed.
Oh.
Except, perhaps by her own. He never got the chance to fully execute his proposal. The Council saw to that. But if something were to go wrong with one of the halos, if our tools were ever turned against us. Long plans, indeed.
He's questioning them. Wow. What the hell?
I forgot something. What did I?
Is that
My
Keith?
name. I forgot. Oh, Keys. Jacob. Captain. Service number 01928-19912-JK.
He's in the tree.
What is that noise? What is that damn noise? Where am I? Captured me, didn't they? Yeah, I can't remember.
It's worse.
Keys, Jacob. Oh, God, it hurts. This will never work, you covenant bastards. I'll never lead you to Earth.
I'll never lead you to Earth.
Jacob. Captain. Service number 01928-19912-JK. Oh, God. You don't want Earth. You want everything. Get out of my head. Miranda, is that you?
Forget everything.
No.
No, please, don't let me forget. Keys. Jacob. Captain, service number 1928-19912-JK.
No more what you were. Memories. Emotions. All is now ours.
Keys. Jacob. Captain. Service number 01928-19912-JK. Oh, you will not have me.
We already do.
Stop. That's so terrifying.
Vexation. 100,000 years of careful maintenance and diligence. 100,000 years protecting the galaxy's future. 100,000 years spent fearing that our sacrifices, my sacrifice, was in vain.
Mine. Because he is more
And 16
than the Forerunners.
finally made contact. This so-called reclaimer decides to blow it all up. Oh, I am not pleased. Just as I finally discovered that our plan to save the galaxy succeeded, the ancient enemy is unleashed once more. Why these reclaimers refuse to follow protocol is quite mystifying. Destroy my installation, will they? I shall renew efforts to make contact with the other rings immediately. This covenant may be useful to me. Although I don't think they fully understand what they claim to seek. Still, it makes no difference to me what they believe, as long as they do what must be done. I sound like her. Oh, but what I would not give to have even a single company of Prometheans here right now. Oh, they would most certainly restore order with their trademark lethality. Although, that would mean he would have to be here too. And without the librarian around to temper his rage, well, these reclaimers might almost prefer the Flood.
Oh, wait, I would love, oh my God. I would love if somehow we could meet the librarian and whoever the hell he's talking about. So, firstly, I just want to say, I don't know who the construct was, who he was talking about. This, like, it was something about serving and being free. And so part of me thought it was Chief or like the Covenant. And I can't really say anything until I know who he was talking to. Oh my God, that really, really, really got me with Jacob Keyes, that he fought till the very end. And we wouldn't have been able to, well, Chief wouldn't have been able to fight the Flood Protocol and the Forerunner's plan and Guilty Spark had Keyes not kept his mind and like kept, because he was talking to him. He was like broadcasting to him. So that, I think that's just amazing. And just, oh my God, that it was just so tragically beautiful and moving. And to see like his loved ones, and he's just repeating his name over and over. He knew the importance of keeping his mind and not turning over so he could just, you know, save more people, save more lives in the end. That just really got me. I wasn't expecting that. He just really went through it. Like, and he's Captain Keyes. Oh my God, that affected me. I am so desperate to know. I would just love to meet the librarian and whoever that. There seems to be some leader, like Forerunner leader, that is very angry and maybe like totalitarian. And it's just interesting because I thought of these Forerunners as gods, and they were just a very old civilization that came before us, and they messed up. And they were threatened, and they were battling someone else too. Like someone else developed a cure, either some species or something developed a cure, wouldn't give it to them. They released the Flood, then they had to kill all the Flood, and then they wiped out a bunch of sentient life in the meantime, and then kept the Flood. And I understand that because they're trying to find a cure. They did not find a cure. That's why I think that the librarian would be such a fascinating character, you know? But oh my gosh. And I just, I feel for Guilty Spark, even though it's not, you know, I guess it's not technically sentient life, but this thing literally went stir crazy and was trying to rebel and think critically about it's installers like that. I'm mentioning gods and stuff, but that 1,000,000%, those are its gods. And so for him, it to even question its installation, that would be like us questioning our reality and like what we know to be true. And I think that's pretty freaking awesome. And I thought, it was fun to kind of compare Cortana to Guilty Spark. Like they did not hit it off. I thought that interaction was really funny. But they're both these AIs and they are spicy. And I knew Guilty Spark is spicy. I just didn't know why. And it's interesting because I think like he's not a representation of the Forerunners at all. I thought he was. Yes, he has that, he was built by them, but his vengeance is like personal. It's like a personal vendetta. It's not to like save people or even maintain a faithfulness to the plan. Like I really do think there's more to it where he's just like, how dare you? Like I've been here. I've been alone. I didn't have a partner. And you just come in and think you can blow everything up. Literally, he's just pissed, and you better wish you're dealing with me and not the freaking librarian and what's his face. I don't know. I so hope that's teasing something. I so hope, because he kept mentioning the librarian. It's so creepy. And we see the robes, and I feel like it's what you imagine when you think of like a highly intelligent, scary alien species. It's not the gray aliens. It's not like some covenant that are like, no offense, covenant. I would love to know about you. Oh, also Guilty Spark is going to team up with a covenant. Crazy. But like they seem really eerie, like tall, and what you might see in your sleep paralysis or your dreams. So, and there are more halos. There are more rings. Crazy. I am not going to talk more about it because I'm just going to be guessing, I think. But that really made me understand and feel for Guilty Spark, but also just like, I just think he's a great villain. He's a interesting villain, and he's a monitor and an AI. And it also made me really understand and appreciate keys. And I just thought that was so well done and a great addition to the game. And I'm really glad that I watched it. So thank you for encouraging me to watch it. And I'm just so excited to learn more. I'm so excited to see where the story goes for Halo 2 and the prequel and, all that stuff. This is just such an interesting lore and story and world and universe. Oh my God. It's very exciting to me. And I've always loved space and aliens. So this is very, very interesting. Damn. Let me know if I missed anything and if you can answer some of my questions and without spoiling, and let me know your thoughts. I'm also interested in the other species, like not just Covenant, but like the other life forms that were, one, wiped out, and two, also exist around. Because like, as he kind of illustrated, Guilty Spark, it's so big. It's so big. And there's sentient life. I don't know. I'm very excited to learn more about that and the history of the Covenant. But yeah, I'm so happy that you're on this journey with me. Join the channel membership if you would like to go above and beyond to support the channel. And I will see you I think we're going to watch Fall of the Reach next, and I will edit my reaction for you guys. So yeah, love you so much. Bye.